Today I'm going to install our brand new Nature's Head composting toilet. We decided to go with a composting toilet because we didn't want to have to deal with everything that goes along with having a black tank, flushing it, draining it, sanitizing it, all that stuff. We just didn't want to have to deal with the mess. And also having a composting toilet instead of a typical RV toilet gives us a couple of big advantages also. We can combine our black tank and our gray tank together so that we almost double the size of our gray tank. Also, when we're out dry camping, having a composting toilet lets us not use as much fresh water. We only have 50 or so gallons of fresh water in our fresh tank, so if we don't have any hookups, that water is really precious to us. So having a composting toilet makes it so we don't have to flush a toilet and waste fresh water. So it will allow us to be out dry camping longer. We can almost double the size of our gray tank, and we don't have to deal with having a black tank. We've read that dumping this is not smelly. It essentially just has an earthy smell to it, not a sewage type smell to it when you dump this. So from what it sounds like, it's a lot less messy to work with than flushing a black tank. So I'm gonna get started on the installation of this thing. Hopefully it goes well. I'm no expert. I'm just kind of diving into this thing. I've read the instruction manual and pretty sure I know what to do, so hopefully there are no big hiccups along the way. I'm a little afraid that we might not have enough room for this toilet. I did all the measurements and it seems like we'll have room for the new composting toilet, but our bathroom is incredibly tiny. We can barely even fit both of us in here. Well, we can't fit both of us in here comfortably. So hopefully we have enough room to pivot this head back to take it off and clean it. Like I said, the measurements of the toilet and the measurements of this bathroom show that it'll fit, but hopefully there's enough room in here to actually be able to service this thing. I won't really know until I get it in here. So the first thing I need to do is shut the water supply off to the RV so that when I'm taking the freshwater hose off from the existing toilet, I don't get water sprayed everywhere. And then I need to go and drain my water system by going outside to the low point drain tubes and just draining out the water from them. Alright, now I can start getting this old toilet out of here. Just like that, the old toilet's out. All it was I just had to remove the freshwater supply, these two nuts from it, and she just came right out. We're not getting any smell or nothing through this hole because we've never ever used this toilet. We bought this RV new just a couple months ago, and we've never used our toilet. We've always planned on getting a composting toilet, so this is going to be really clean, no mess. So I need to eventually make a run to the hardware store because I need to buy a plug to sit in there, and it kind of expands and plugs this hole off. And I think I'm going to have to get some PVC pipe, and I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if I've got enough exhaust hose that came with the composting toilet to be able to run outside. So hopefully I do have enough hose, because if I don't, then I'm going to have to make 2 runs to the hardware store, because I've got to run there now to get the plug for this hole. I'm not going to buy any pipe just in case I don't need it, but if I do need it, I have to make 2 trips. Alright, well that's out. Alright, I'm going to take this piece off because it sticks up from the floor about a quarter of an inch or a half inch or so. So I'm gonna take this part off so I can, so the composting toilet can just sit directly onto the floor. Alright, well apparently this piece can't come out. So I think instead of taking this out, I'm gonna have to shim the composting toilet up so it sits flush with this. Oh well. Alright, now I'm gonna see if I can get this this ring off and replace it with one large enough for me to fit the exhaust hose through. Oh, hi sweetie, you coming to help? You coming to help? Not helping. So I need to make the hole that the freshwater hose for the original toilet bigger so I can fit the exhaust tube in, and then kind of shove that freshwater hose back into the cabinet, hopefully, just to kind of hide it back there. So I've already started with using a hole saw. It's not exactly the best way to do it, but I want to get this done hopefully in one day if I can. So I don't want to stop to go get kind of the right tool for the job. So this is how I'm gonna do it, and hopefully it works. Alright, well that didn't work at all, so I went rummaging around and I got a tool that I think will work this time. All right, there. It's not perfect, but that was a lot easier. And I think we got a lot better results than we would with those stupid drill bits that I'm pretty sure are made for metal. Actually, I'm pretty sure the saw bit on that air saw I was using was made for metal too, but it got the job done. All right, well after checking that existing hole for the drain, for the low point drain tubes, there's not enough room to fish the exhaust tube for the composting toilet through there. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to drill a hole straight down through the floor under that cabinet, and then run the tube just through there right to the outside. There's already a slice in the underbelly and the insulation for those drain tubes outside, so if I drill the hole right there, then I can just run the hole through those already existing cuts and just caulk around it and be good. Alright, so today is day 2 on the composting toilet install. I got the right tool for the job this time, 1 3/4 inch hole saw and a drill that's smaller than my drill so that I can drill the hole for the exhaust tube through the cabinet, straight down through the cabinet. So, or not through the cabinet, but through the floor inside the cabinet. So yeah, it should go well. The exhaust tube fits nice and snugly in a test hole that I drilled through, just some scrap wood. So yeah, it should fit. It should fit nice and snugly, and then I'm gonna silicone seal around that tube so no bugs can get in. And
A lot, yeah.
all right, that's done. Exhaust tube is finished. So the next thing I need to do is take this drain plug for the toilet right here and cut this bolt down right here. 6 threads is what I counted, so that it is flush with that black flange, because this whole thing sticks up above that. I'm also going to replace this wing nut with just a regular nut so that it sits, you know, below the height of that black flange, so that when I set the board down that I'm going to mount my composting toilet to, I can just screw straight through the bracket, through the board, and into the floor, and mount the board and the toilet at the same time. Yeah, these both stick above that black flange, so got to get them down below that height. What do you think, Butters? Is that a good plan? You don't care? Okay. What do you think, Pop? You don't even know what I'm talking about. So the last thing to do for this exhaust hose is I'm just going to apply a sealer just around the rim of where that hose goes into that hole down there, just to seal it off completely from, you know, any bugs or water or anything else. So I'm just going to use this Dicor lap sealant I have that I use for the Max fan install, just because it's the only thing I've got around, and it's some pretty good stuff, so I think it'll do the job. Alright, let's see if I can contort my way in here. Definitely not the prettiest looking job in the world back there, but it'll definitely do. Alright, so now I'm going to trace an outline of this toilet out on this board, cut it out with a jigsaw, and that's what I'm going to mount to the floor of the RV. I'm also going to have to, you know, draw a circle and cut a circle out for that black flange, that drain flange also. It'll all sit down nicely, hopefully. And yeah, that's what this toilet will sit on, so that everything will be flush with that black flange. I'd say that's a half decent fit. Now that I've cut the wooden base that this is going to sit on, I still need to cut the circular hole in that wooden base so that it can slip over that black drain flange in the floor. So I've set the toilet where I want it to be in this little room, and I'm just gonna measure from some landmarks in here to the base of the toilet so that, you know, I kind of know where to make that circular cut in that wooden base. So I'm gonna kind of draw a little sketch of the base and where the circular hole needs to be in relation to the sides and the front of that base. So. This board's all mounted now, so I screwed it into the floor with 4 separate screws, and now I'm going to find out where I need to put the brackets for the toilet, and then just screw those into this top board. I'm not entirely sure what the best way is to measure where I need to put the brackets for the toilet since they slip under it, and you know, I kind of need to get the toilet where I want it before, you know, make sure it's in the right spot, because this is a really close, you know, really small area, so the toilet needs to be kind of in a specific spot for, you know, the lid not to open and hit the wall, and to still be able to, you know, hinge the top back and take the top off if need be. So I'm just gonna set the toilet down where I want it and see if I can mark off where the brackets are somehow. Jenny, it's in.
Yay!
It's in and it's secured. Opens up well. Almost done. Last thing I need to do now is I need to flip the fan to the other side, because right now it's over on this side. I need it to be on the other side, and then run the wiring from the fan to a 12-volt source. So I'm gonna run the power wire from this opening I made for the exhaust tube over to this main wiring run. So I'm just gonna zip tie it to all this. That runs all the way up to that box, and then from this box it runs right to here. This little cap pops off, and I can just tie into this right here, and that runs directly up to my battery. So that'll get me my 12-volt power source. I just gotta, you know, use quite a bit of wiring, but it'll give me my 12 volts. So this is the wire that was sent with the composting toilet, and the little connector that, you know, plugs into the fan, the exhaust fan. So I'm going to snake this wire through the exhaust port, you know, through the hole I drilled for the exhaust hose, and down under the RV so I can run wire along that main wiring line. Alright, hopefully that's it. Now to go inside and test the toilet, see if the fan is actually running and make sure everything fits. I think I'm done. And now the moment of truth. I'm gonna put the toilet back in and I'm gonna plug the fan in and see if it works. It works! Awesome! Well, that's it. I did it. All right, awesome. Fan's running and toilet's in, fits. All right. Well, now that I'm finished, I guess we'll let you know after a month or so of using it how things go once we've, you know, had to change it a couple times, change out our composting medium, and dump the toilet. We'll let you know if it smells. You know, if we're happy with replacing our old toilet so that we don't have to use our black tank. Yeah. So we're gonna use this thing and let you know how it goes. Wait, I'm not done. I thought I was done, but I forgot to put in this. This is the fuse, the inline fuse that'll trip if the wire shorts out or something. And it's kind of important because if there was a wire short, you know, the wire could melt, burst into flames, burn down the whole camper, you know. So I remembered last night as we were going to bed, and now it's the next day, and I'm gonna put it in. And then I'll be done. Okay, now I'm done. Hopefully you enjoyed our composting install video. Yeah, we'll let you know how we like using it in the coming months, and if it smells, if we think it was a good choice, you know, all that stuff. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you later.